when you're going to use it, I'm just going to go around there with Simon.
I see at some point we should maybe buy a new one of those, because it's 4 years in and it's wrecked more people's clothes than anything else on the entire show.
4 years in?
Yeah.
But it's not broken.
No, it's still
doing well, yeah.
Put it down. Strong. Put it down while it's still
I'm
broken.
not allowed to touch much in the kitchen.
Why?
I'm under strict instructions from Simon because I have a tendency to ruin things.
Oh, right, okay.
So.
Yeah. I am going to teach Lou and Jamie to cook, though, apparently. It was in the paper.
Oh, really?
Yeah, they didn't tell me, but, you know. So we're going to make...
It was a heavy hint, Simon.
Yeah. So we're going to make a cherry streusel cake, which basically, streusel means to sprinkle. So it's a cake and it's then got a crumble topping, basically. So what we've got, there's a glaze for it, which is milk and ice and sugar, which just gives a nice bit of sweetness, bit of colour. Then we've got, for the crumble topping, some butter, some flour, demerara sugar, a little bit of cinnamon. Black cherries is just out of a tin or out of a jar, which are delicious, really nice, full of flavour. You could soak those in a bit of booze before you start to make it a really boozy cake as well. Then for the cake itself, baking powder, bicarb soda, some cinnamon, some eggs, some flour. We've got some sour cream, and then, Dougie, in front of you, there's some butter and some sugar. So first job, Dougie, is crack the 2 eggs into there.
Are you hiding my own meat?
And then whisk it
You're meant to
all
shield
together.
me.
Good so far. Good.
That's it. You just stand there. You'll be fine.
He's a good little cook, Dougie, isn't he? Look at that. Straight in with the eggs.
Do you cook as well, Dougie, or not?
Not really. I made spaghetti bolognese
once. You
once.
wash your hands in there, in the sink. Oh, no, there's water in there.
Oh, this doesn't actually work.
No.
This isn't a real kitchen.
It's a TV studio. It's not my house.
Right.
And then, put
it in first, yeah?
Go for it.
It's
See, Dougie's now assuming what we like to call on Supper of the Weekend the band stance. There's only people in bands who actually cook in that way.
Yeah.
How's that?
That's good.
It looks like scrambled eggs.
Yeah, that's good. Just keep whisking. It's fine, and eventually it'll come together.
Go on, mate. You're all right.
You can go for it now.
You're good now.
Yeah, now it's starting.
Yeah.
Oh, I'm impressed, Dougie.
Cool.
Good. Good. See, your confidence is growing. You're relaxing into it now.
You want to go now, don't you?
Okay, mate.
OK, so, Dan, what you can do, as Dougie's whisking it, just tip the sour cream. You can tip it down the side, otherwise it goes right underneath it, then it'll get both of those expensive new jackets. And I know they've got to go back this afternoon, so...
We buy all our clothes. Is that it? Is that enough?
No, it's fine. That's cool. All right, that all comes together. OK, fine. So now we can dispose of the aforementioned item and get rid of him. OK, so next job, you may as well do this. You're doing this so well, Dougie. Just tip in the flour and the bicarb, all those 4 things tip in there. Tell you what, we'll sieve it as well so it's nice and... OK. So we're sifting it. I quite like the way you're standing a little bit away from this, Jonesy. You're just kind of not getting close to it.
He's worried he's going to ruin his jacket.
Yeah.
It's only cheap. It's only a cheap one, yeah. I think it's Harry's, actually. I borrowed it off him.
And then just sift all of that in, and then we just fold it in. And what we do now, we put lots of air into the cake, so it's a nice and fluffy cake. It's quite a heavy cake, this. You know, it's a real kind of cup of tea in the afternoon cake, rather than, you know, after a meal.
See, I think you're either a dessert maker or a dinner maker.
Do you think?
Yeah, I can't make desserts.
Do you know what I mean? I think you're either really good at desserts or you're really good at savouries.
I cook dinner and
unless you're a
dessert
chef.
in the fridge.
Yeah.
Unless you're you.
I think you're right. I think very few people actually bake particularly. Blokes don't tend to bake.
No.
Do you cook at home? Like, do you actually cook meals, girlfriends?
No, not really. I've tried a couple of things, but it always just goes terribly.
I love a good old cook, me.
And then
What do you
fold
cook?
that in with the wooden spoon. Just get it all in. Just mix it in.
Stir fries,
Steak.
salmon.
Do you have a signature dish? If you're in the doghouse with your other half, what's the dish that you have to cook for?
Butterfly steak. On like a...
That means it's cut and opened up rather than it's a butterfly.
It's a butterfly.
I know that, Simon. I know that.
A butterfly cell would be fairly small.
To perfection.
Yeah.
I like it sort of medium rare.
OK.
And what's your tip to cooking a good steak, then?
Well, apparently this works, doesn't it?
Yeah.
You know when you feel that little muscle there?
Yeah.
That's well done, or that's...
Yeah, so the further along you go, and it's just touching, so as you do that, it tightens, which increases how it should feel. So if you want well done, then it's that part of your hand.
Do people, like chefs, wouldn't do?
You know that, don't you?
Seriously, you do a little press. I mean, you don't compare it to your thumb, but you get to know...
do the...
Yeah. Beautiful. Lovely.
Yeah.
Sorry, we were leaving you all to
Guys.
And then tip half of that into there for me, Doug, and then sprinkle all those cherries on top. You see, it's quite a heavy batter, this. It is quite a heavy cake. If you find it's too heavy, whenever you make cakes, sometimes what puts people off is because it never, or quite often it won't look the same the second time you make them the first time. It's called the farination process, OK? Which basically means anything that you use with flour is affected by climatic conditions, OK? So, say, for example, the amount of moisture in the air here would affect how the flour reacts with other ingredients.
Really?
Yeah, so if you find... Yeah, then just spread it out a little bit and then sprinkle all the cherries on top. If you find when you do this it's too dry, add a little bit of water to it. The next time you do it, it might well be because it's quite a dry environment that it's actually quite wet. Then you can add a little touch more flour.
So you've really just got to gauge it. You've got to know what you're doing, basically,
exactly.
and understand the mixture.
Yeah, all of those go in and then sprinkle the rest of that on top. Nice. See, and again, imagine if you've got a big load of booze in that as well. So all of that big, like, brandy or kirsch or something would be delicious.
Doing stuff like this, is it vital on what goes in at what time?
Kind of. I mean, the thing is...
I don't know where to start.
No, kind of. I think the thing is, though, a lot of the time, if you've got a big food mixer, you know, one with a big bowl that's got the kind of big...
Is this going wrong?
Then you can't chuck it all in one go. The reason why you tend to add the flour last of all is because you want to just gently fold that in rather than really beat it. It makes it a nice like. That's fine. It will find its own height, and then that goes into the oven. But before we do that, we make the crumble topping. So, Janny, all you need to do for this is all of those ingredients into there, and then just rub them together.
Cool.
It's as simple as that. This is just making a classic crumble topping, like you'd make for your apple crumble or for your rhubarb crumble.
We've got brown sugar,
brown sugar, flour, equal quantities of butter, brown sugar and flour, and then we've got a little bit of cinnamon in there as well.
So these are...
And it's literally just rubbing it together. You can be quite vicious with it. And equally, it doesn't really matter if there's a few lumps of butter in there, because as it cooks, that will cook out. So you don't need to be too precious with it. You know, once it's just about come together, it's fine.
So, guys, I didn't even ask you earlier, when's the album out?
It's out tomorrow.
Tomorrow?
Yeah.
So the record's out now and you're getting your chart position today?
Yeah, we're getting our chart position tonight, yeah, and I think midnight tonight. The album.
And do you know where you were in the midweeks?
We were 3, but I think Katy Perry was catching up a bit. But there's some big acts out, you know, Rihanna, Take That, and you know them.
Is 3 not brilliant then?
Yes, 3.
We're super stoked for that, yeah.
At least you could sleep easy last night. It wasn't one of those things you're going to be top 10.
Stressing out, yeah.
OK, so what we do then, beautiful, well done. You tell you cook lots.
There's water in there.
And then all of that goes on top. So we've got now our crumble topping. That then goes into the oven for about 45 minutes or so. And when it comes out, this is what we get. So we get this lovely cake on the bottom, crumble on the top. Lovely, lovely combination, OK? And it's really nice when it's warm. Then what we do for this little glaze, tip the milk into the icing sugar, which, again, we've sifted so it's nice and smooth, and simply whisk it together. This isn't essential. But if you take this out of the oven and the cake is still warm, do this and pour it over the top, and what you get is a really lovely shine.
Straightforward icing sugar.
Icing sugar and milk, that's all that it is, Lou, yeah.
Not water, is milk, because I do this sometimes at home with the kids. Should I put milk in my icing sugar then on top of fairy cakes?
If you're making fairy cakes, water is what you want, because then it will set. This, the milk really will then soak into this cake, and as I say, ideally, do it when it's nice and warm. A big slab of the cake, like that. Oh, look, delicious.
This is the best bit, we get to taste
like that. And then this is the one that Danny and Dougie made while you were interviewing Carl before, obviously. And then a little bit of this.
It does look lovely.
Over the top.
Wow.
Go for it. So it's a heavy cake. As I say, it's an afternoon tea kind of cake. It's a brew and a big piece of cake. That's kind of what we're looking at.
I'm all right, actually, for the time being, because there's too many you go for. Yeah, we'll have some in a minute. Let the guests do it. Coming up, we've got open-top pork pie, which I'll be cooking with Simon and Carl. What's that like? Do you like it?
Very nice.
Okay, good.
The crunchy bit
But now for another Deja Vu clip from a show that ran for a staggering 18 series. Can you guess the year this episode of the Dick Emery Show was first shown?